I'm ready.
All you have to do is flip that switch. It tells Mr. Riegler where we are. Only you can get close enough. She won't stop until you're dead. Or she is.
Come and find me.
Marissa. We picked up an unencrypted signal below the Arctic Circle. We think it's Eric Heller.
Heller is a rogue asset. I propose we go in and pull him out. We need to keep this contained, gentlemen.
Papa.
Remember what I taught you, you'll be fine.
Heller was gone, but we found this kid.
I want to speak to Marissa Fiegler.
My name is Marissa Weidler. You wanted to speak to me? It's okay.
All right, Hanna broke down to whoop your ass. That's what she'll do. This girl's badass, man.
She'll whoop your ass and your balls. Yeah.
She'll whoop your ass and not in just some crappy dream sequence.
Well, just don't try to kiss her.
Yeah, and she'll tell you exactly where she missed hitting you, or what she intended to do in the first place.
Oh yeah,
she's fucking nuts.
No, this girl, where your balls is earrings when she's walking away. This girl's a badass. She's been trained.
Yes.
To be an assassin. Not only has she been trained, because the movie opens up very, mysteriously. Like there's this girl in the woods being raised by a father.
Eric Bana.
Eric Bana. And Eric Bana's a Hulk, so he's a good trainer.
He's got to live out in the woods. General Ross is looking for his ass.
I think Liam Neeson wasn't available for training training duty.
Actually, I think this girl could give Liam Neeson a run for his money.
She does have a specific set of skills.
Oh yeah, no, she's being trained out in the woods by her father. They're obviously hiding out from something, because all this training is to get her ready for what? Well, you find out that this girl, she's a government experiment. She's been raised to have like a great stamina, great strength, probably be a little more courageous than that. She's raised to be Captain America.
Yeah. She's raised to have
she is
enhanced
Captain
intelligence, enhanced reflexes, enhanced strength, and decreased emotional response.
Yes.
In other words, the perfect military killer.
But the worst lay.
Unless you turn on the radio, and then her emotional response is, electricity! What is this?
Oh yeah,
Stop it!
It's interesting to see this girl, because her father finally tells her. Eric Bana says, "Look, I'm gonna pull out this box right here, and this button is going to be there, and it's going to light up every now and then. And anytime you feel like you are ready to enter the world, you go and press that button. The only catch is that there's going to be this bitch out to run to kill you. She's going to be on your ass every minute that she can be. It's a CIA agent.
It's like, I thought it was going to be Frank Langella with half a face.
So you got to kill this bitch first.
Yeah. No, she's coming after you, and it's a CIA operative played by Cate Blanchett.
Yeah.
Who has done a lot of crooked shit, and I guess she feels like this girl's a threat to her. So she's basically one of them not gonna walk away from this movie alive.
Well, she's the last part of an operation that Cate Blanchett was heavily involved in, that she was supposed to have mopped up totally, which she had personally killed every other kid in this program except for the one that got away, thanks to Eric Bana, the agent, who quite frankly felt guilty about the entire thing. And so you end up with he ends up training this girl out in the middle of nowhere until she is indeed ready. And then what do you get? You get Hannah taking some motherfuckers out in the real world.
You get a nice big dose of revenge.
This isn't Salt either. This isn't like, because a lot of people said this looks like Salt mixed with a professional. And I was like, I was worried about that too, but that's not what we end up getting here really at all. I mean, whereas Salt is like, let's see how outrageously ridiculous we can take these action scenes that no human being could do at all. Well, this stretches the probabilities of reality a bit. It never goes so far that it breaks it.
Well, it's one of those things, especially after seeing Sucker Punch, where after seeing Sucker Punch, I was like, you know what? I'm really tired of these girls, these directors who put these girls in these positions where all of a sudden they're badass fighters. They can fight. They know how to use a gun. Where I'm like, half times I just want to like take the gun away from them, pat them on the head, and go, all right, little girl, that was fun playing make believe, but mosey on down the road.
Go pick up your Barbies.
Go pick up your toys and just leave. But I mean, this movie really like blew me away as far as like, wow, okay, you know what? In the capable hands of a good director and a good writer, they could still write a badass fucking chick, which this chick, it trumps all these these heroines that we've had lately with the salt characters, the chicks from any girl from fucking Sucker Punch,
and this isn't
puts them in a real setting, in a real situation that you can actually believe and buy into.
This isn't just some rent an action film director either. This is Joe Wright, who is known for films like Atonement and Pride and Prejudice, who does art films like really intense visually, but art films nonetheless.
And great action films like The Soloist.
Hey man, everybody has their misstep. How many great directors can you name who haven't had at least one bad film?
I know.
Don't be thinking, what is that? What is that?
I just thought it was curious. I looked at the
What
guy.
a dick move.
I know, man. I looked at his roster of work, and I just found it interesting that he directed the Robert Downey Jr. movie, the one with
the Soloist isn't terrible.
Isn't
No, it's not. I
terrible.
never even saw it, so I'm just talking shit. Who was that? Who? Jamie Foxx was in that?
Yeah, Jamie Foxx.
Oh, they're always- yeah.
I
That's
just
his
said,
weakest film.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
not-
hey man, you know what?
It's not a bad film.
The thing
Yeah.
is, I just said Soloist, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, why you gotta do that? I don't
You
know.
know, you're like
It's
that.
funny because you said in such action films, Soloist.
Okay, I was
Corey,
fucking
you're
with
like that one guy who's always giving fuck. You're like that one interviewer that always has to give Mel Gibson shit whenever he's getting interviewed. Whenever he's sitting in, all of a sudden you got to turn into the hot seat.
Well, why don't you just be quiet?
Now, the girl who plays Hannah, what's her name and how old is she?
Salaries Ronan.
I know, yeah, it's something
like that.
Irish, something
I know.
Celtic.
Everyone always gives us shit. That we
Sorry,
can't- we
Ronan.
don't
I think
even
that's how
try.
you say her name.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was standing up here like, I was sweating. Please don't ask me her name. Please don't ask me.
But she's awesome here.
Oh,
No,
she's
no,
great.
she is.
Oh.
She is. I mean,
And creepy looking as hell.
Yeah, she's got that that Tilda Swinton look, that redheaded, wild-eyed, no eyelash look. That's just like, girl, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
She, which, yeah, yeah. You don't want to. Yeah, you mistake her for Michael Myers or something in a dark alley. But I mean, the thing is that works to her benefit in this movie, and I don't know if that's just like the way they made her. I don't know if how much of that is makeup or or what they did to her. If they bleached her eyebrows or her hair a bit.
It's like they just didn't put makeup on her.
Yeah, I mean that too. But I mean, the thing is that it's effective though. It's really effective for a character because there are moments when when she's doing her thing, she looks like a stone cold killer.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll see someone and meet someone in real life that you go, man, I don't know what happened with the genetics with you, but you just did not win the lottery with that combination of skin and hair color and eye color. And she's like one of those people that like she catches your eye, but not in a way that like you're like, wow, she's hot. In a way that, wow, she's really odd looking.
Right.
And sure enough, that's perfect because she isn't human, really, technically speaking. I mean, and it's a movie about she's a Pinocchio here.
She is,
really
yeah.
because she wants to be human. She's not angry, really. She's not bitter. She doesn't know how to be those things. The only person she's ever met in her life is Eric Bana, right? And so she's out there. She's trying to do what she was told, but really what she's doing is finding out how human beings work and who they are. She meets a whole family of people and befriends the daughter of the family, and is really more curious in learning about that. But she can't just walk away from everything because the CIA or this, presumably Black Ops CIA splinter off group led by Cate Blanchett is looking desperately for her everywhere, and they are not fucking around.
And
that's
Cate Blanchett has hired a crack team of gay Germans.
The gayest German she could find.
She found a guy from a Elton John lookalike contest.
She found some rejects from Ramstein.
I mean, she found some guys so gay that they got camel toe. Their shorts are so tight. He's like, of course you're going to get your ass whooped looking like that. I mean, even if besides looking gay, maybe you can fight, but surely there's got to be uncomfortable and restricting. You gotta let your shit breathe.
That tough that they just got bored of fighting, regular people. They were like, you know what? I need to fight more. I'm gonna just gay myself up like crazy to the point where people are just like, oh, I gotta punch you.
Oh yeah.
Why are you here? Be concise.
I need you.
You need me. Little old me. I'm very flattered.
I need your talents, darling. I need you to do things my agency will not let me do.
The devil is in the details, isn't he? It's the girl or Eric?
She's in Morocco. It's all in the envelope. Let me worry about Eric.
Shall I kill her?
Just find her.
Marissa, did she turn out as you hoped?
Better.
You know what's so great about if her name is that Saoirse Ronan. And what's
However you say it.
and what's
Saoirse Ronan.
Just sorry. I look at this and after it's been 2 weeks since Sucker Punch came out, but I think it's still relevant in a sense that we have what was thought of in Sucker Punch as a strong feminist film. And you full of shit.
I know it's hard to say that with a straight face.
Joe Wright just came out and called Sucker Punch a bunch of bullshit for doing that, for claiming to be a female affirmative film.
No,
I was
it's
like,
not.
good for you, man, because you did. You're the anti-Sucker Punch.
I like the way he's like, man, what you did was wrong. That's anti-feminist. Oh, and by the way, that's a strong argument for my movie coming out next week.
It's not like
Go see Hannah, a real strong feminist film coming out April 8th.
I know.
That guy's wrong, but I'm right.
Yeah.
Joe Wright. Check out my movie.
Now he just sounds like a used car salesman. You're making this guy
It's
sound
not
terrible.
even trying to like it's so it's so see-through how Sucker Punch is trying to pretend to be like strong woman stuff, and this isn't really even about that at all.
Well, no, that's what
into it.
Well, I mean, it's not. That's not even the point of this movie. But what you have here now, you look at something like Sucker Punch, and I mean, if you want to go beyond Sucker Punch, there's a lot of people who try to tackle like a strong female, protagonist, a strong female character. They fall into an area where they often fetishize.
Oh yeah,
their lead characters are their heroine instead of making them a strong character. Sucker Punch is probably one of the worst grossest
offenders.
examples of that ever. And then you look at this; it's the opposite of that. This girl. I mean, she's not. I mean, I think she's going to be a gorgeous girl when she gets older. I mean, she's 16 now.
Okay, she's 16. Is the character? Is she 16?
She's the character 16 too. Okay. But that's the thing. They make her look younger because they don't do that. This girl is like, I don't need no makeup. Fuck it, I don't even need no robots, dragons, everything. You look
I don't need a mini.
They all knocked out.
You keep that mini skirt and that samurai sword.
I mean, you know what? That's the beauty of the movie in that how authentic it looks. It has such a great look. This girl, she's been completely isolated in Siberia, wherever Eric Bana has her, training her, and even like her going into the world, it's kind of like, look, once you push this button, people are going to try to kill you. But she has reached that point of maturity where it's like, I have to get out of here and be a full person, experience the world, even if that means people coming after me.
Well, looking at her, with the character, because she's stripped of everything that would normally wear in a movie, they'd say, okay, we got to put you in makeup, do your hair in some kind of cool way. She's a wild child, she's feral. She's got crazy hair, she's got no makeup on, so she looks very young, like a 16-year-old girl normally would,
And personality-wise, she's a blank slate beginning this movie. I mean, she is literally her programmed set of instructions with nothing but the desire to be more than that. In the movie, what part of why she's so interesting is not just because of the way she is visually or the way the way they show her kicking ass. It's because we're actually watching this person become a person. I mean, learn about things in regular life that, I like that.
That's what's good about the movie. It is,
she has character and she has depth.
You're absolutely right.
The movie grows with her.
It is her journey. I mean, as soon as we start to follow the story with her, and it's her searching for her soul. Which it comes by as far as when she runs into this family. She sees how they are around each other, and just something that she knows that all of a sudden she knows that it's something she wants. But I mean, that's the great heart of the film. It's not just an all-out action, extravaganza. I mean, there is some depth to these characters, and it's cool how they flesh them all out. And Eric Bana, I mean, there's a guy there who I always thought, man, how did this guy go from like doing the Hulk to basically falling off the face of the earth to where I was like, you know what? I always thought that guy as more of a lead guy than a lot of these lead actors we have in these action roles these days. Yeah. I see him more of a lead action guy more than anyone these days. And he is a
filthy Australian coming over here trying to take our job.
Yeah, that's probably why. But he was excellent in this movie, and it really is like, wow, I want to see this guy in more movies, and especially this actress where it's like, wow, she put very little effort, just her mannerisms and what she was using as far as using her face, using her actual acting skills to portray a character that you actually care about, you're rooting for, and you're worried about.
What you're saying about Eric Bana is funny that's so notable. Here's a guy not known for action films on the whole, right? Mm-hmm. Definitely not an action type of actor. Joe Wright, definitely not an action type of director, mm-hmm. but there's a centerpiece scene in here mm-hmm. that is one single shot where Eric Bana takes out a whole room full of people single-handedly. One shot. And it's amazing. It's one of the best action hand-to-hand fighting scenes I've ever seen.
It's down in the subway, and they managed not to rip off Old Boy. Yeah. That's what I saw coming. I was like, don't do it. Don't do it.
It's an astonishing shot, and it's brutal, and it's believable, and it's effective, and you're like, wow, Now, how come the douchebags who are making all these other movies, who are making, I'm sorry to the guys who make the Bourne movies, I liked them, but why can't you film an action scene like this?
Yeah.
You know, this
Where we
guy's
can see what's going on.
This guy's not even an action director. That's not even an action actor.
Well, you know, there's some movies that it's more stylized than a lot of action, and it probably more unrealistic. And so I think the Bourne Identity, one of the strengths about it is that it wanted to portray its action not realistic, because you know they had a car pile up that was fucking 20 stories high, and Matt Damon walks out without a scratch. But I mean, look at this, and that's one of the strengths of the movie. And I'll get into a little bit probably some of the weaknesses of it. It's hyper stylized in certain parts.
See, I don't know why that bugs you or the other people who it bugs.
Well, you know, I'll tell you.
Beautiful.
I'll tell you why it bugs me, and you guys are not gonna like probably what I know. You're not gonna like what I have to say about the movie, because I have some problems with it. I think Leon and I walked out with some of the same problems, but and I want to get the good things out the way, because I do think this is a movie worth seeing. I do think it's a great film, but you know, and it is hyper stylized. The good parts of being hyper stylized is that you guys came out talking about how this reminded you early on of something like Run Lola Run.
Yeah, specifically. In fact, I said, this feels like the movie that the director Run Lola Run was going to make next. Like, he's a little bit more mature. He's still using a lot of his elements. He's still got that sense of pacing, that like a pulse to the film.
What did
the
he
music
do
and
next?
the film style. The Princess and the Warrior, I believe, which was nowhere near as good. In fact, he's never done anything even mildly as memorable as Run Lola Run. But that's neither here nor there. This is a film that feels like it has that spirit to it.
It does.
Including
And-
in the way that
yeah.
it's stylized in
And
some
I thought for me, it complemented the scenes as far as just like Run Lola Run did.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you have a really nice stylized bit, and you have a great soundtrack accompanying it, which the soundtrack was done by the Chemical Brothers.
Yeah, beautiful.
And at least for me, it really did complement a lot of the scenes.
No, they said the soundtrack is great. I mean, I even like what they did with the soundtrack more than I thought they did with something like Daft Punk and Tron, because I think, you know, after a while Daft Punk kind of crept off into the area of scoring.
Well, Daft Punk kept doing in the scenes that were very specifically Daft Punk moments. Look, it's a Daft Punk song.
Yo, yeah.
And in Hanna, the Chemical Brothers, music is so integrated into the whole film that sometimes you really forget to notice it specifically. Yeah. It's just part of like the motion of the whole.
When
thing.
I saw it, I was just like, I knew the whole time it was the Chemical Brothers, and I liked that. I was like, you know, I like knowing that. Throughout the whole film, I recognize that it's these guys and their trademark sound, and I appreciate that. I like that a lot. And there's I like the style of the editing and a lot of the a lot of the non-traditional things they did with some of the scenes in the movie. There's a part in the movie where Hannah's running. She's escaping from the compound where she's being held in by the CIA. And when she's running, I looked over at Leon. I'm like, did he put something in my drink? Because I'm having a freak out right now, because she starts running and you see about 10 different Hannah faces on the screen, and she's running upside down, you know, right side up, left and right. And I was like, wow, you know, okay, I like that people are telling like a pretty serious story and not afraid to go in and play visually with the film. Now, I'll tell you where that took away from the movie for me. I think after a while, the movie, it did two things. The style didn't keep up through the movie, which I don't mind that. The hyper stylization of it, but I wish it had when the movie kind of slowed down for me. And the reason why it slowed down for me is because I thought some of the characters just became flat after a while. Cate Blanchett, I thought she was sneering through the whole film. She's a great actress. I like her. She had a southern drawl, and I thought that she was just typical, you know, villainous in the film. Same thing goes for the guys that she hired to go after Hannah. They're kind of a combination between gay Eurotrash and skinheads. And I thought, okay, this is going to be exciting. These guys are like, they're not your average assassins. They're gay and they hate black people. So, you know, I thought it was going to be cool. But after a while, you know, they became just more sneering villains. I just didn't feel like I got the characterization out of the movie that I really thought I would get early on in the film. So that's my biggest problem.
Really, that's how you felt about it? No, I'm
man,
teasing.
everybody's playing me.
I'm teasing. You know what? Yeah,
I know you playing.
The movie has great style, and even plot-wise, I didn't think about it till you guys were just talking about it. Reminds me of Unleashed. It's almost the same basic plot, and I love Unleashed. And yeah, the look of it, the music, all that stuff is fantastic. And the first half of it, I was completely sucked in. It was like everything you guys were telling me. It just came with the second half where it's like, okay, what next? And I felt like it was weak on the what next when it came to like the characters being more than what they seemed at first. Like, I mean, as you said, Cate Blanchett's character, I was like, you know, I want to see more what the story was. When you get down to the heart of what's behind it all, it's very cliche, and they don't even build that much to it to make it more dimensional. And just when it gets to its final payoff, I kind of felt like it was lacking. Like, dang, I felt like I was in for something more than what this ended up being. And I wish it had kept up. I wish it could have just kept that all the way through. But yeah, once there's a point when you learn everything and then don't learn anymore. And it's like, you know what? This is a better movie than Salt, and yet Salt did offer me more on that end. But I certainly recommend it to anybody to see because it's it gets your pulse racing. It's everything you want, and they do a damn good job of making this 16-year-old girl look like she really can take out grown men. Because people fuck up on that all the time.
Oh yeah,
they need to have that girl. Anna don't need to be kept a secret by the government. They need to have that girl work for Dateline. Like every pedophile that comes in and tries to molest this girl, get their ass beat down. They don't need the police to come in. The guy would say, "I ain't never fucking with no girl again."
Who needs that guy to go? Come on, take a seat. One of you. Well, but I was gonna no fuck that. Just have her there and just beat the shit out of her.
Yeah, shit, I guarantee you, every guy will walk out gay after trying to molest Hannah. I ain't fucking with women no more.
But you know what? I'm glad to hear what y'all are saying about your criticism of it, because while I don't agree, I understand totally how you look at it that way. I don't mean that a negative towards y'all. I'm just saying that is definitely one way of looking at it. The other way is that this is not a plot-driven film. It really isn't, which is extremely weird for an action film, which ultimately this is. It's a character piece, 100%. And those other characters that you're complaining that you didn't feel were fleshed out enough shouldn't be. They're just there to serve Hannah's story. Ultimately, this film's not about them and where the plot goes with them. It's about watching this one singular character.
The henchman, I would agree with you, but Kate Blanchett's character, who is so important to this,
she's developed just
enough.
I
think she really needed to be.
See, because I thought she was as far as just her being cold and calculated and just doing what she did. I mean, she basically is there to clean things up. You don't get too much into her as far you do find about her backstory and how she really fits in, especially with Eric Bana's character. Why she is a target. But I mean, it was enough information there to where I'm like, okay, I understand this, I get this. It's a simple enough story, but I just thought the execution of it, they did such a good job with it than other movies I've seen can never do.
That's the thing is like it's not one of those films that should be about like getting that heavily into the plot, because it is about the atmosphere and the feeling of it and the description of this character, the really getting inside of who Hannah is and who she's becoming and doing it in a very unique way that almost like when I hear you talking about this, Leon, I'm going, wow, I feel like that would have just been a distraction.
See,
like, I didn't want more.
My counter argument to that, I think, is just like, what are you looking for? Because obviously you weren't looking for the same thing. When I get a character like Kate Blanchett, movies like this where you have a pursuer, you have a villainess, a lot of times you remember the villain in that movie and you walk away sometimes remembering that more than the central character. And let's just say that you don't need that here. The other thing is that Kate Blanchett never felt like a threat to me at all.
I don't think she's ever really supposed to be.
But it would be nice to have that if for the tension, because after the second half, I mean, when it came to the second half, I didn't feel that. The side characters, if you're going to introduce an eccentric character, make him a character. Don't make him a character because he wears hot pants and tube socks. Make him an eccentric character because I remember him by how dangerous, scary, or how crazy his personality is. I didn't get that. So I mean, I think it's just kind of two expectations. I like coming out remembering characters that make me feel really scared and threatening. I didn't get that from here. I was scared of Hannah, because Hannah made me not want to go on any more dates or anything.
Which but you saying about scary characters, I thought Kate Blanchett was scary. I thought those henchmen were fucking crazy and nuts.
Sometimes the less you know, the better. And
that's the thing, and that's what I liked about. I mean, they didn't make them into cartoon characters, which a lot of these movies.
You didn't think so? That's what exactly.
That's how I thought of them.
No, not at all. Well, they don't give you enough to.
Yeah, they're not drawn very deeply at all, and that's
not
good.
I mean, you get no. But I'm saying as far as like exaggerating what they are, that they are killers, and showing them get to the point where it's so ruthless that it becomes silly. I didn't get that. I honestly didn't get that.
Well, I'll tell you a good thing about it is that even though I felt like the middle was slow, because I was like waiting for it to build up. I was like, man, that momentum it had before. I wish it was going on there. While I didn't get it back, I will say that it did a good job at bringing it back on Hannah. If you want to talk about, making Hannah your centerpiece here and making it about her, it was cool to at least see her try to adjust to around normal people. Because that is one thing that did make me scared. I was just like, damn, everybody Hannah runs into, they're going to get killed. Not by Hannah, just because Hannah's trouble.
Which was which was a good part of the tension in the middle part of the movie, because, she's hanging out with his family, and all you're thinking about is like, it's gonna suck when if something happens to this family
or
based on
anyone
her
else she's friendly
and
to.
how
Hannah's that
how it's
cousin
gonna,
that you don't ever want to hang out with. Hannah's that drug dealing or drug using cousin where it's like, hey man, you're gonna get into trouble. I die hanging around that person.
She's that one cousin that always has to bring a gun to the goddamn family reunion. Start some shit.
Listen, I need to run up the street. I need you to hold this bag for me.
Yeah.
Or just
if
by hanging
everybody
around,
comes here
like,
asking for it, just don't give it to them. All right.
But I mean,
just like you at home, and Hannah's the kind of dangerous liability where if she came over to your house and just was chilling and do nothing, it would always be somebody like around there like, hey yo man, where Hannah at? Because she owe me some money.
That's what you're saying about that's why the middle is exciting. I agree with you. I think because this is about that character growth for her, where she doesn't understand that she's dooming everyone who helps her to death, to horrible fucking death. Anyone who comes near her, she doesn't understand that, and it's about her coming to realize that I can't just keep dodging this issue. I have to take it head on, or all these people. I mean, I can't live a normal life that I want to have because of this.
Yeah.
I think that is a lot going on there. It's just it doesn't say it out loud because it doesn't need to.
Yeah. Like I said, it's one of those movies where people are going to get different things out of it going into it, what they see. I mean, it's just that kind of different film. For me, fell a little short, but I definitely would recommend people see this. For me, it's a high matinee.
Yeah, you know what? I would parrot everything you're saying. I mean,
then say it like this.
I love almost everything. Why don't you go jump on the shoulder right now, Leon? All right? Because apparently that's exactly what you are in this review. A goddamn parrot. All right? Get over there.
Give him a second. Give him a second.
Jump on his shoulder.
No. Hey, get on his shoulder. I'll throw you a goddamn cracker. All right? I'll throw you a goddamn cracker right now.
Give him a second, and they'll be making fun of the cracker.
Yeah. It's gonna be funny when Corey's stealing that cracker from you, Leon. All right?
It is a movie I would recommend to anybody who told me they thought they were going to see it. I'd be like, by all means, go. It's an exciting movie. It's beautiful. It's a mix between an action film and an art film. It really has that sensibility, and it's awesome. And I just wish that the third act of it had satisfied me. I mean, when you guys say like, oh, it didn't need to do that, but I think of a movie like you've just been compared to a lot, La Femme Nikita. La Femme Nikita left me feeling satisfied at the end. It gave me all that stuff that I wanted, and this movie just fell short. It's not a big drop, but it was just enough to keep me from going full price. But I give it a very high matinee.
See, I absolutely adore this film, and I feel like the third act was incredibly strong for me. I feel like it's a much more experimental film artistically than La Femme Nikita was, which was really in many ways a pretty straight action film. It was just one with plot elements we hadn't really seen anywhere else, but we've seen about 1 billion times since then.
Yeah, it was influential.
I adored almost every frame of this film, and I think that a lot of that had to do with Joe Wright and the way that he chose to film these scenes, the art that he put into the cinematography, the choice of music that went with it. I just thought it was paced better than almost anything I've seen in a long time. You say it's slow, Corey. I say there wasn't a moment in this film that was slow. So even when they're sitting around talking, when it's pensive, when she's just thinking and looking at stuff, the camera never stops doing new and exciting things. The music never stops being in your face saying, man, shit is tense. This worked for me in every way a movie like this should, and it is a very high, enthusiastic, full price.
Well, I say...
Quiet you.
Give your wrong opinion.
Cyrus, can I jump on your shoulder right now?
Parrot Wars.
No. I'm a robot, so don't worry. We will win. Yes,
mechanical parrot.
You're gonna look like the Predator when I'm on. No, but no. I mean, Corey and Leon, you're all wrong. This movie is. I mean, no. It is. It's definitely fast paced. That's the one thing that gets me as far as if anyone's telling me it's slow. It really baffles my mind. Oh, is that who said it? Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I tuned out. No, but I mean,
with you, Corey.
The thing is, it's a fast, intense film for me. I mean, it really did. I mean, I was thinking the same thing you were in the theater. Thinking, wow, this is the first movie I've seen in a long time that I actually kind of missed. And all I thought about was Run Lola Run, as far as just the pace and just the visuals of that film. Where you're right. I mean, this should have been directed by that director of Run Lola Run. And as far as
Tom Twyker,
yes, that's it.
You fucked up. This is the movie you should have made, and you fucked up.
Yep.
But the thing is that what I really loved about this movie was they made a main character deliver on being the badass she was born to be. I mean, she earned her badassery.
Yeah, she did.
This is the first movie in a long time, next to like Hobo with a Shotgun or something like that, where it's a female for once. I don't like look at and kind of chuckle like, girls can't fight. And I was like watching her just steal the scenery, and even Eric Bana, where you're like, fuck, dude. Start taking that fucking guy who's doing the transport. What's his name again? The Curly. Yeah, Jason Statham. Yeah, Curly. Take that guy's role because I want to see. He's more charismatic with doing very little, and just he has such a screen presence. I hate that he's wasting his time with trying to figure out what to do next. But other than that,
he does very little better than anybody else.
Yeah, I know he does. But I mean, this movie I would highly recommend it as far as anyone looking for a straight-on action film with some heart, some depth, and some style. Go see this fucking film. This is a full price for me. If the fucking chick grew out fucking a jetpack out of her back, it'd be better than sex, but it's not. But I mean, I appreciate this kind of filmmaking, which I miss sometimes. Like sitting in the theater, I'm like, wow, I miss a simple story like this. Really like getting to the meat of what it is and really like awing me, like giving me a reason to be in a theater.
Nobody's making the art action movies anymore.
No, and
it's
sad.
really kind of almost a dead art form at this point. And this is why one of the reasons I'm so excited about this, because examples of that in the past are much beloved by me. Like, wow, I hope guys like Joe Wright do go, you know what? I am tired of cookie cutter, overly complicated Hollywood action films where you're like, okay, these are the same plot elements we've seen before, just with a plot, just with a the stuff in between it that makes no sense and lots of ridiculous shit. Let's just get back to the basics and let's direct a good movie.
Look at those old school fucking action films back then where they were basic. They were very basic. They don't get all convoluted with bullshit. I mean, it's easy to do. It's like people want to do something a little different, put in some of my own little quirkiness and whatever, and it just comes out being shit and you don't care.
Don't wish for that too hard.
Yeah, for real.
Speaking of the Hulk, anybody remember the last go tried to make an art action film out of that?
Oh, well.
So far as they tried doing art action films.
When I look at that movie, I don't see anything artsy.
Yeah,
the Hulk,
it wasn't.
I mean, the only thing artsy about it was that Ang Lee's name was on it.
I was going to say,
but
other than that,
nothing in it is artsy
no,
at all.
not at all.
And yeah, if you're considering that fucking bullshit paneling that he did with those scenes, I'm like, that's not art. That is not art. That's called shit.
So he was trying to get back to the comic book, showing it in panels. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah,
I don't read comics.
We should actually get directors who like comics to make comic movies. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Maybe I just don't understand what the big deal is about Hannah herself. I mean, fuck, you got kids shooting up schools and joining gangs. I mean, Hannah ain't nothing compared to like some 15-year-old gun-toting kid in Compton.
She comes back out going, I ain't going in there.
Wait a minute, what's that?
They sent it to a school in Compton, and she comes out going like, I ain't going back in there.
She come out running. I can't fuck with that. Hire them motherfuckers.
Well, to be clear, anybody that white should not go into this. Just right off the get-go, right out of the starting gate. Do not even walk into that.
You going, girl? You lost.
This is your mission, Hannah. You have to clear the school. Come back a week later, she's turning tricks on the corner. Like, it's a living.
She'd be running Kate Blanchett.
You my little assassin now.
What do you want, Marissa?
I need you to do things my agency will not let me do. The girl is still alive.
If we're going to be friends, you're going to have to be honest. I'd like to have a friend. What is it? It's something about me. I don't understand the rest of it. What's wrong with you? Whatever you do, promise not to follow me. I promise. Hello!
I tried to prepare you.
You didn't prepare me for this.
Sometimes children are bad people too.
Did she turn out as you hoped?